using your thinking capacity for survival and logistics. And the monad sits dormant, waiting for the right frequency thought, the activation code, the trigger pattern. Which brings us to the third category. Third category, source thoughts. These are thoughts that recognize reality from monad perspective, not ego perspective. Thoughts that acknowledge the infinite, the eternal, the unified. These thoughts sound like this. I am awareness observing experience. Everything is source expressing itself. Separation is illusion. I am the monad recognizing itself. Consciousness is all there is. Love is the fundamental force. And these thoughts activate the monad because they're operating at source frequency. Light. Recognition based. When you think a source thought, you're not trying to activate the monad. You're thinking as the monad. You're recognizing what you already are. And that recognition is the activation trigger. The monad doesn't activate because you believe something. It activates because you recognize something. And source thoughts are recognition thoughts. They acknowledge the truth of what you are. Awareness, consciousness, source expressing as individual experience. And when you think that recognition, the monad responds. It wakes up. It activates. It operates. Because you entered the correct code. You thought the activation thoughts. Now you understand why most thoughts don't activate the monad. Ego thoughts are wrong frequency. Neutral thoughts are no frequency. Only source thoughts carry the activation signal. And tonight, you're learning exactly how to think source thoughts correctly. Not randomly. Not occasionally. Systematically. Daily. Until the monad activates and stays active. Here's the technique. Every morning when you wake up, before ego thoughts start flooding in, you're declaring a source thought. Out loud if possible. Silently if necessary. But consciously. Deliberately. Here are 3 activation thoughts. Choose one. Or rotate through all 3. First source thought. I am the monad recognizing itself through this body. Say it. Feel it. Let it sink in. You're not affirming something you hope is true. You're recognizing something that is true. The monad exists. Inside you. And you're acknowledging it. Second source thought. This awareness observing my experience is source consciousness. Again, speak it. Recognize it. You're not the thoughts. You're not the body. You're the awareness. And that awareness is source. That's the monad. Third source thought. Everything I perceive is one infinite consciousness expressing itself. Say it. Recognize the unity. The monad doesn't see separation. It sees source appearing as many forms. And when you think that thought, you're thinking as the monad. One source thought. Every morning. First thing. Before ego hijacks your thinking. That's step 1. Morning activation declaration. Second step, throughout your day, observe what you're thinking. Not to judge it. Not to change it immediately. Just to notice it. Is this an ego thought? Is this a neutral thought? Or is this a source thought? And as you observe, you'll notice most of your thoughts are ego or neutral. That's normal. That's how conditioning works. But here's what you do. When you catch yourself thinking an ego thought, don't fight it. Don't suppress it. Just recognize it. That's ego frequency. That thought doesn't activate the monad. And then consciously replace it with a source thought. For example, you catch yourself thinking, what if this goes wrong? That's ego. Fear-based. Low frequency. Recognize it. Then replace it. Everything is source unfolding perfectly. That's a source thought. High frequency. Recognition-based. And you just shifted from deactivation thought to activation thought. Or you're thinking, I need to be better than I am. Ego thought. Comparison. Lack-based. Recognize it. Replace it. I am already complete awareness having a temporary experience. Source thought. Monad frequency. Activation trigger. Do this throughout the day. Catch ego thoughts. Replace with source thoughts. You're training your mind to operate at monad frequency. And every source thought you think moves you closer to full activation. Third step, Every evening before sleep, spend 5 minutes in source thought meditation. Sit